Good morning. Welcome into the form where we look forward to a massive weekend, a weekend we're calling the greatest day on the punt as we look forward to the last leg of the Triple Crown, the Livermore and of course across the Tasman. Well, we've got the Everest and the Caulfield Cup. So in the studio to talk about the action, we welcome in Aidan Rodley and Lee Thinnison. Wow, what a weekend. Cannot wait.
Cannot wait. Greatest day on the punt. It's been a while since I've had one of them, Rod, but hopefully this week we can sort some winners out.
Geez, those Ellerslie Fields are terrific. We're seeing that with markets, just like $6 and $7 favourites through the program. I think this might be the first ever race that's run at 2,040 metres at Ellerslie, so a new track record incoming, and then obviously all around New Zealand for the next few days. We've got, I think, 5, 6 Gallops meetings, and then we get to Australia for the Everest and the Caulfield Cup. Just a massive weekend. It
really is, and of course the man will be looking forward to that as well as you, Bevan Sweeney. Good morning, and of course there's some Central Districts runners too in the Livermore.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Pip. A very good morning to you all. I can tell you it's not raining down this way, which is a bit of a blessing for us all after what has just been 10, 14 days of just absolutely wet weather. But I'm looking forward to a massive weekend of racing. Clearly, the Livermore, the highlight here in NZ, but there's highlights all across Australasia, really, with a lot of hype around one particular horse, which has been very, very interesting through the week.
Yes, it certainly has. He will be taking his place, that's for sure, Kaying Rising, as we have a look what is coming up on the agenda. And we'll be starting with the big one, the Group 1 Livermore out of Ellerslie. Also taking a look at the undercard there. Our second domestic meeting on Saturday is out of Trentham, so we'll be highlighting the main feature on the program. Also finally getting the Matamata Cup underway as well, so we're taking a look at that race and our usual segments to get through. So let's crack into it. We'll be starting with the feature out of Ellerslie. Leith, weather and track-wise, are we getting a nice track this weekend?
Look, obviously, Pip, we've had 40 mils of rain in the last 7 days. The rail's out at 5.5 metres. So, look, between early Thursday morning to Saturday, hopefully we get back to a sort of good 4 maybe after race 1 or 2. But looks like it's going to be in that sort of soft 5 range to begin the day.
It's an interesting rail position for a Group 1 day. Normally, Ellerslie are really focused on having that rail right in for the big days.
Yeah, look, it's interesting. Obviously, Jason knows what he's doing, and obviously they've got the race meeting there next Saturday on the 25th as well. But look, it should be fair racing, and yeah, they won't have to water the track, that's for sure, this week.
Okay, let's have a look at the market for the feature. We've got 2 joint favourites. Al Vencedor at $3.60 with Waitak, the last start Group 1 winner, and then Ladies Man at $5. So you're surprised, Sweens, that they've got the 2 joint favourites here, or you think it's right?
I'm intrigued. I mean, this market is based on the fact that Al Vencedor gets up to a trip that he really does excel at, back at Ellerslie. Whether his first 2 performances have been right up to scratch, I think the probably jury's out. Waitak brilliant last time. Sectionally, Ladies Man was like a second quicker, faster than Al Vencedor home over the mile trip. So I think he comes right into it. So he might be, or should possibly be a little bit shorter, but I don't think there's a lot of sort of juice in that market, lads.
Look, I thought the map was pretty easy to sort of map out. Obviously, there's 3 sort of outsiders. You've got Khan Hunter, Spanish Led and Aftermatch. Al Vencedor's another one who's going to go forward. Ladies Man sort of maps this at 3 back, maybe 1 out. Waitak gets a nice run midfield as well, I thought.
Yeah, the real problem here is what happens, these horses are long, Spanish Led, Aftermath, Khan Hunter. What happens if they do start coming back? If you're 3 back the fence, you just have to be really wary. And not taking anything away from those horses, but these horses are Group 1 horses. These horses are maybe horses with a little bit
tricky, especially if you're on the inside, like you said. But Quintessa and Legato, with those outside gates, they're going to have to be back.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look at the first replay. This is the Group 1 Howden Mile, and Waitak, very good here, Sweens. Once he got past Tuxedo, he's really unleashed, and we know he can handle the 2,000.
He actually settled a little bit handier than I thought, and he had a bit of a bumping duel, but he's just such a lovely horse now. He really did unleash. Al Vencedor, I thought okay. La Creek, of course, she's gone to the pit, I think, briefly. But Ladies Man was a run for me. There's no better trainer in this country who sets horses up for 1 grand final, Leith. It is Alan Sherrick, and the indications from that performance, first time blinkers on this preparation, that look, he'll be very tough to hold out to pick up a couple of the Livermores.
Well, it certainly looks like it's going to be a nice tempo on the race. So, look, it should sort of... Ladies Men should get a nice run, maybe 3 out, 1 out, 3 back. Look, Waitak was massive. Obviously, up to 2,040 metres. Alizé, he hasn't won before, but going out of that race, they look like the likely two for me.
When you look through that race, obviously Waitak terrific, and he has proven himself over that 2,100 metres. Yeah, this is different again because it's Group 1, 2,100. I thought in behind him, Ladies Man was terrific. I thought maybe the overs in the race actually, Ladies Man. And don't want to ride off sharp and smart either because the sectionals were pretty good. Legato is getting fitter, and we did see her have a look at those horses in track work this week as well, and it looked as though she's coming on well. And Vinnie Colgan, speaking to him after that gallop, he was really happy with the progress she'd made.
Okay, well, the horse that's on the race form cover this week is El Vencedor, and we know him getting back to the 2,000 metres in Ellerslie is key. Yeah,
obviously the key is Ellerslie. 7 starts, 5 wins there. Look, I thought both his rides of late, 1,400 metres in last start, they're just a little bit neutral on him. They'll be a lot more positive this week on him for sure.
Well, it is up to his pet distance. What he's won 5 or 7 at Ellerslie, 2,000 metres, weight for age, all those sort of things that will sort of fit with him. So they do need to be positive. I think I've got him in the 1-1, but the 3 horses all around him are all outsiders. So it does mean that they just might have to get moving early. Otherwise, you get pocketed in there. So maybe it's not the worst place to be, though. You'd rather be in the 1-1 than 3 back the fence in a race where those leaders' credentials are a little bit, undefined.
Yeah.
I just think, why don't they lead? That's where he's most successful. And you've got, to be honest, there are a couple of horses in the aftermath. More than likely, you've actually highlighted the ones that are going to go forward. You just want to be able to get out of their way. That's my personal opinion as we get late into this race. Khan Hunter, another one. You just don't want to get in trouble here. So if he is at his best, and I think Lee's probably right, a couple of rides have sort of put him in spots where he probably couldn't win with his racing pattern. Look, Saturday's his D-Day, this preparation, isn't it? If he runs forward, travels to the corner, he'll put them all in trouble. But I'd just take luck out of the equation with him, and if he's right, then put him where he's best.
My query is that if they do go forward and lead, then he potentially becomes a horse that they really do take on. If they take a sit behind them, at least they can go hard against each other. But your hardest thing is you get to the front and then you find them getting taken on by one of those outsiders, and it's like
really, you're on a 50 to 81 shop. You're not going to sit outside someone and annoy them in a Group 1 race. I can't see Sam Collett doing that.
Well, we've seen it in the Grand National. It can happen.
Yeah, well, that's jumping race. But I thought, El Vencedor, he maps to get a nice easy lead, I thought.
Okay, well, let's hear from a couple of key trainers out of that Howden Mile. We'll have Andrew Scott, Ken Causo and Stephen Marsh. We'll start with Andrew Scott, and Aidan just asked him what he's done with Waitak since the run.
We just, the ground's pretty testing out there. He had a good hit out there on Sunday between races at Rotorua on better ground, and we managed to get some nice fast work into him there. It was all about just keeping him in rain today and getting him through the conditions and just conditioning his wind only. So, look, Pratap knows him well. He said he feels great and he's nice and sound in his stride. So, his condition's great. He's a fit gelding, and he's proven that he can run 2,000 metres, which is great. So, we're going into the race, confident that he's going to put in a strong performance again.
Yeah, he was terrific at Te Rapa in the 1,600 metre race. Has he done? Has he pleased you with his progress since?
Oh, look, all the team's really pleased with him. Look, Nathan, who looks after him, said he's happy as, and Lance said he worked really well there on Sunday at Rotorua. And, look, we think he's gone the right way. He's just kept him on improving, and obviously he has to, and, there'll be a sharp 2,000 metres round there on Saturday. So, we're really hoping he can take another step, because it's certainly going to be another step, because 1 or 2 others are going to improve as well.
He's doing great. He's really come on. His 2 runs have been good. Back to Ellerslie up to 2,000 is a big key, and it looks like we've got a bit of nice weather. You wouldn't think so today, but nice weather the last few days leading in, so he should be back to his best.
What did you make of his run over the 1,600 metres last time?
Yeah, I liked it. He just got galloped on a little bit. The track was off. He really does need a good track. He's to show his best, and I do believe we'll get that again this Saturday. So, excited about it.
She went quick. She went with Quintessa against the rail on the course proper. Thanks to the manager let us go there on the rail, so it was better the ground than being out wide. But nice work. Worked away from the winning post, ran 1,200 metres nicely together, and Vinny was quite happy with the work.
Yeah, what was Vinny's feedback afterwards?
No, he was very positive. She'd improved and felt good, had a little blow, but understandably in the ground, but recovered really quick.
Okay, so pretty good thoughts there from Ken Kauser around Legato. Is that Gallop?
It sounded like the improvement. And certainly listening to Stephen Marsh, again there, he's certainly going into this one a little bit more positive than what is into the 1,600 metre race. But, they're proven horses. Look at their records, 12 from 44 El Vencedor, but 5 from 7 the track. And Legato's won 10 of 19. And I know maybe she hasn't been as potent as she has been elsewhere at Ellerslie, but she's still got a really good record there. So she's better, then she's a contender, isn't she?
100% she is. She needs a strong tempo she's going to get back from the draw, but if they go hard enough, she will be hitting the line late.
Yeah.
Okay, well, taking a different path through is Quintessa. Let's take you back to her winning the Poisar, obviously very good here at Ellerslie, while others were getting checked, but different path, Leith, obviously not seeing her on race day since this.
Yeah, obviously she's missed a key lead-up race. Look, she went to Palmerston North for a trial. The trial was terrible. Look, this race here, she was super. She might just be a race day horse, but look, going on her last trial at Palmerston North, she's going to need to improve a fair bit.
It was a means to an end. They had to get something into her.
It's going to be a great training effort. If they can turn her around, I don't know. Look at her work's just been okay, I thought. I can't quite have her on my ticket this week, sorry.
One thing that she's trying to do is emulate Excellent, who won the first leg and the last leg without contesting the middle leg. That was back in 2005, and Michael Coleman, who was aboard Excellent, reminded me of that at training on Tuesday. She's also begun to become the first horse the first Brazier Plate winner to contest this race since 2019 when Melody Bell won. So normally the 1,400 metre horse hasn't gone there, or not in recent years. So. But like you say, it would be some sort of training effort from Mark and Sam.
I think you used the right sort of word. They had to go to Palmerston North to trial up, which is just a little bit concerning on the evidence of that particular trial. A-Rod, I think you've mentioned the relevant facts. It would have been an amazing training performance, but she smashed them, that fresh out race. Like, she gave nothing a chance. So she's definitely got the quality. If she's fit enough, she's certainly good enough if they run it along strongly enough.
Well, let's get the thoughts from her trainer, Sam Burgesson, because Aidan did catch up with him at track work and just asked him about the different path they've had to take.
Yeah, it's been difficult. Obviously, the weather hasn't made it easy, and we've had to sort of think outside the square a bit. She just, as an older mare, she's pretty intelligent, and she seems to look after herself on the wetter surfaces. So we've just looked for a dry track, basically, and thankful we sent her down to Dad, and she stayed there overnight, and obviously trialled at Awapuni on a reasonable surface and over 1,400, and we asked her to run around the corner a bit, and we think the trip away's brought her on as well. It's a fine line with her. You've sort of got to get the work into her without sort of taxing her too much, because she sort of has a few aches and pains and things like that. So we're really pleased with how she pulled up today. Had a good chat to Opie, and he thinks she's pretty spot on. So obviously Saturday we'll tell that, and she's got to jump from the 14 to the 2000. But hoping we've got her there as best we can, considering I suppose the cards we've been dealt.
Well, let's have a look at the trial that you didn't like, Leith. What didn't you like about it then?
Well, this is Sailor Jack won the trial. She never really travelled, and past the winning post, you'll see Opie, he's pushing her like she doesn't look happy to me.
Yeah, she has been really pushed out, but. One thing Bevan said, maybe she is just a race day horse, because she was brilliant in that Brazier Plate. And the other thing about her is, I know she's
going past the post here. She's not.
And she's still being ridden up and still not being able to get past
them.
her.
So look, it's going to have to be an outstanding training effort. I wouldn't put it past Tiakau, but I can't have her on my win ticket this week.
We'd love to see it too for Opie, because he's obviously trying to get to that 100 Group 1 win, but
there's a couple of these they do say that don't work well at track work, but they go to race day and they're just a different horse.
Her fresh record is outstanding too. So, but I think she'd be a surprise winner for me.
She smashed them. She smashed them. Fresh up at Ellerslie. That was a non-contest late in that particular race. So I don't know. I just don't know. I'm a bit like Leith. I probably can't back her to win, but there would be no surprises if she did. Hyo Sesbom's a really interesting horse here, team, because we all jumped off the ship, and she just probably, smashed us in this particular race at Hara. Reza, I thought was brilliant, but when she gets it right, she's got a great turn of foot, boys, and if you go back through the record, she's been very competitive in this race in previous times.
Yeah, look, she was really good last year when it was at Te Rapa. Look, a bit of a step up to the 2000, but I know Kim Reed's a very good trainer, so she'll have her ready. She could be a top 4 chance.
Yep, she wasn't 100% sure on going here, but obviously the horses convinced her. It was terrific effort that day. And like you say, when she was second in this race last year, El Vencedor was miles back in her wake. So I know this is different. El Vencedor's maybe more forward and he gets to Ellerslie, but you can't ignore what she was doing last year and what she did last time out.
Not at all. Well, it's time for selections. Who's the one for you in the Livermore?
Look, there's 5 good chances in the race. I'm going to settle on Waitak. Look, he's never won 4th up before. He's never won at Ellerslie. Geez, a second up record. He's had 5 starts for 3 wins when he won at Te Rapa. But I think he's in a really good form of vein. He's going to be running home the fastest, probably 600. If he can be midfield, I think he can win on Saturday.
Yeah, there's some really good depth of top-level talent in this race, and we just want to see the cream rise to the top. For mine, it is Waitak, just on what he did last time out and what he did at a middle distance last preparation. So I've got Waitak on top, narrowly ahead of Ladies Man, who really did impress me last time out, but any of those top 5 or 6, you wouldn't mind seeing them win. I don't really want to see an upset in this race, Bevan.
You won't be surprised who I'm going with. I'm going with the trainer who sets them better than anyone, in my opinion. One Al Sherrick, Ladies Man, fantastic, with the blinkers on at the 1600 metres. And it would be so lovely with the passing of Ronnie Stanley through the week. He's one of the great men in the Central Districts. The brothers have raced so many good horses, Grout and others. You might have even ridden a couple of them for them, Leith, over the years. So it'll be a lovely occasion if Ladies Man can get up for the Stanley family and of course the Learys.
Yeah, I actually won the derby on Wahid, Bevan, for the Stanleys, and it would be fitting, and I know Alan's super happy how he's going.
Yeah, it really would be, and that does complete our look at the Group 1 Livermore. We're taking a quick break. Off the other side, we'll be diving into the undercard. You're watching the form, and we're about to have a look at the undercard out of Ellerslie, starting with the Group 2 Soliloquy Stakes for the fillies as we take a look at the market. It is sponsored, of course, by Windsor Park Stud, and Lollapalooza is your joint favourite, now favourite actually, $3 from Tajana at $3.30 and Well Written at $6. The only other runner on that third line of betting. No surprise, Sweens, to see these two battling it out in the market just like they did last start.
Yeah, I'm a bit intrigued. Tajana's 2 from 2 and came from behind Lollapalooza to beat her at Ellerslie, although Lollapalooza came back at her at the line. I think they should be almost dual favourites, really. They're both fantastic fillies and going the right way. Boys, how does the map suit?
Yeah, look, obviously Tajana and Lollapalooza, they just can't get a gate. Hopefully it's in the 1,000 guineas for one of them. Look, I thought places to be. It's only had the one race they start, and that was at Taupo. Ran it nice, good set. She was up top. Rising Star, they were positive last start. Look, it just maps were well written, little back dress to get a nice run just behind the speed.
Yeah, the other one I thought maybe they could be handy with is Savvy Donna, but I agree. The speed is from out wide, and the 2-star mares just do have to go back again.
Let's take a look at the Sunline Vase, where they really did go to war. Obviously took different paths. George Rook coming out wide with Tajana, where Vinny picked a path here, Bevan, and really it's just been nearly neck and neck right to the line with Tajana with the honours.
Yeah, look, they're 2 interesting fillies, aren't they? Because Tajana doesn't look interested until the last 300 metres, where she really gets to them quickly. I thought she pulled up before the line, and then Lollapalooza comes back at her. I'm not sure much how influenced the 5.5 metres will be, Leith, on these 2 fillies, because they're clearly the quickest in the race, but they might have to swoop on a leader who's kicked away. So it does become interesting, but I don't really see the race being outside of these 2.
Look, you wouldn't think so. I thought the sectionals in the race were just okay in that race. Look, they came home in 35.6. Well Ridden came home in 34, I think it was, 33.8 in the 1200 metre race. So, Look, they're going to get back. It's all going to depend on the tempo up front. Obviously, they're the best two horses in the race, I think. I just sort of got Unrestrained was okay first up, and then it had a nice easy trial at Te Awamutu the other day. A little bit Black Dress was maps to be a little bit more positive as they rode it last start. It's going to be hard for them with that rail out 5.5 metres as well, I thought.
Yeah, exactly. But they are just class, you know. And the one thing that when you look at that again, Lollapalooza's looking like she is a 1,600 metre horse. You know, she looked as though she was winding up best. But, you know, she was good enough to be winning a Gold Trail Stakes over 1,200 metres a couple of starts back as well. Dejana had kicked off with that Group 3 Northland Breeder Stakes, both bringing terrific form. I thought there was enough in Little Black Dress last time out. It was certainly an improved run. She seems to be going the right way. And I wouldn't be ruling Queen's Evidence out either. Just a horse who seems to be going okay. Just had to do a little bit of work wide and running in the middle stages. This time round should get a lovely sit into this race. And sectionally in the Gold Trail was pretty good too.
Okay, well, let's hear from their trainers. We'll start with Sean Ritchie and Graham Richardson and ask firstly, Sean, how Dejana has done since Ellerslie.
She had a nice hit out at Taupo, looked extremely strong. She dragged George Rook around, nice even time, and when she came back to go through back into the birdcage, I think she went past the winning post again. So I think she's gone to that next level, which is exciting for us.
Yeah, she was terrific last time out. She progressed to your liking since?
I think so, yeah. I think she's certainly taken that step up for sure. You know, she's a high-class filly, and she knows how to win, so let's hope she continues to do so for us.
I tell you, I'm a lot happier this time, and after giving her 3 days off after that race than it was before the race, if that makes sense. So she was doing very well before the race, but she's doing even better now.
Yep, we've just seen her out on the track, but her main gallops on Wednesday morning. What will you ask of her tomorrow?
She'll have a nice enough hit out without getting carried away. I gave her a nice hit out on Saturday because the track was, you know, a lot. The prediction of rain was coming, and decided to give her a nice hit out on the Saturday. She'll do a little bit tomorrow rather than too much, but she's against the rail too.
Yeah. Well, she's been terrific this preparation. What have you made of her progress?
Well, she's always shown something. Even at her first trial, she showed something, and I think she may have run second. But then, her races, she's been a bit unlucky. Even in the Eclipse Stakes, she could have quite easily run in the first 3. So, yeah, she just keeps getting better. She's got a great attitude. She's got a little bit of cheekiness about her, which is she's tough, but that's, you know, she makes a good horse, doesn't it?
Usually those fillies that have that little bit of cheekiness are good. Leith, what did you make of those comments?
It's interesting. Obviously, Lollapalooza might have been just off a little bit, not quite 100%. Dejana galloped really good at Taupo. She had the side winkers on, and she might have just overdone it. They've taken them off. They're not going to race with them this week.
Yeah, isn't it a great rivalry that's burgeoning at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, Stephen Marsha has the 2 fillies in there too, Little Black Dress and Well Written, and Aidan caught up with them to see how they're going.
Both nominated and at this stage heading to the 1,000 guineas. Both done well. Little Black Dress has really just come on each run this time in. Her third last start was great. Addition of blinkers, I think, will sharpen her up a lot. And Well Written, look, we're putting her in the deep end. She's had 1 start for 1 win. Taking on the big girls now, but we think she's a very progressive filly. She's pretty exciting, and we'll certainly give her a chance.
She couldn't have been much more impressive in that win. How's she done since?
Yeah, she certainly couldn't have been. It was a very good one, and you don't often see them win like that first time of asking at Ellerslie. But she's come on in leaps and bounds, and look, it's not going to be an easy task for her. She'll be taking on the first and second favourites for the 1,000 guineas, but we think she's right up to it.
Okay, and Little Black Dress, how's her progress been?
Really good. She's still just a little bit green last start. She sprinted, but just couldn't quite sort of. We just felt she had maybe a little bit more to offer. So blinkers go on, and she wasn't far off those the 2 favourites, and I think she's the big improver.
Okay, so blinkers on a Little Black Dress, but we are looking at Well Written here. She was very, very good on debut, Leith, and comes up with the ace.
Look, they went slow up top. It was a sprint home. Look, she's come home in 33.8, and she's won easy. Matt was softer on her late. Look, the horse on the inside, Polster Tiller, she's come out and won. It's a good maiden race. There's something about her. She's got the barrier 1. She can just get a nice soft sit just behind the leaders.
Just love what she did, especially at the close of the race. She's just able to put them away. She's come up with all the quickest.
She's not bred to sort of get a mile. I think 1400 could be a fraction too short for her, but she just maps to get a nice run, doesn't she?
Yeah, and she won both those trials leading in. Circus Tricks, although maybe this might not be a race, the closing part of her race was good too. She's run the second quickest last 200 as well. So, yeah, adds to a really interesting race.
Yeah, I was there when Well Written won that race and I was super impressed. She's stepping up a bit against the big guns on Saturday, coming out of a maiden race, but the ability seems to be there. If she gets the right run, she could be in it. But I haven't seen that track work from Tajana before now, and that'll do me. She is flying off that work, and look, she looks to me as though she's gone to another level, and I've been with her since her first run at Ruakaka, so I might as well stay with the ship because she seems to be improving on what I've seen.
Yeah, I'm jumping off the ship. Tajana, I love Tajana and Lollapalooza, but they're going to be giving Well Written a big head start into that straight. They're going to be a fair way off them. If Well Written can get a nice, easy time just behind the leaders, if she doesn't have to improve too much on that maiden race, no, she's there.
Yeah, exactly. And I wrote down no great speed as well, so that might make it tough for those two. But these are the A-grade fillies. I think we saw maybe the up-and-comers down in Christchurch last week. The only other one you want to add into this is To Cap It All. But I think that Lollapalooza is the benchmark at the moment, even though she was defeated last time out. And I think 1,400 metres this time round, she'll be winning.
Okay, from the Group 2, we're going to have a look now at the Open 1,400 metres, race number 8 on the programme. Tardelli is favourite. Electron there has to be a winner in Wetsend Bevan, but Tardelli certainly has to carry a bit of weight.
260 Tardelli. Not easy to carry 60 and a half, but he was the run of the entire meeting. Iridium Songbird was a really good performance. Fresh Sharp, Smile has sort of been nommed and scratched for a couple of places. I think Frost Fair might be a massive improver onto better track conditions, but it was a sparkling performance, boys. Where does he land in the draw? He sort of sat there and it didn't matter at his Fresh Up run and blew him off the racetrack.
Yeah, gate 14 is going to be a little bit tricky for him. I've got no concerns about the 60.5 kilos. He's such a big, strong stallion. Look, it does look like there's a little bit of speed on the inside, so it might just give Tardelli a chance to get in midfield again somewhere, one off hopefully. Look, I thought Electron from the outside gate will probably have to go forward, Rod?
Yep, there were a few there. I thought there was a decent amount of speed, but Electron does look the main one. You'd expect them to be really positive with Moving Melody as well. For mine, Tardelli does risk being posted here, but he could well get covered. It's that type of race, so yeah, there's a few things against him, but he's a class act.
He really is, and we saw this again with his resumption here at Ellerslie, but he has just got those couple of things against him, Sweens, the draw and the weight.
Yes, but you just have to watch this to see how good it was. There was a couple of massive performances on the program, but this was the one that you really went, holy heck, this is a Group 1 horse in the making. Look, the draw is niggly, the weight, I know, look, 60.5 is enough for any sort of horse in my sort of mind, but Lee's right, he's big, strong horse by I'm invincible, so if anyone's going to carry it, it'll be him. Second up, he's had a couple of runs and missed, so there might be a slight little niggle, but if he returns to the form he showed Fresh Up, which there's obviously question marks, second up in a lot of people's minds. If he returns to that form, lads, he'll be winning.
Yeah, look, the gate's niggly part for me. He loves the course there, 4 starts, 2 wins and 2 placings. He gets around Ellerslie so nicely as well. So, look, he's got to be hard to beat, doesn't he?
Yep, no bigger fan of this horse than me. I think he is a rising star. But there are those things against him. And one of the things that we saw late in that race as well was just how good Cannon Hill was. Cannon Hill's in 2 kilograms better this time round on a 2-length margin. So that says there's not a lot between them, especially when you post the draws. Cannon Hill draws 1, gets a suck run along. Tardelli probably 3 wide, but the more I thought about it, I don't want to rule out the class and the progression that he would have made out of that. On the same program, Arabian Songbird was terrific. I thought there was enough about Moving Melody's run to say definitely a chance in this as well, and the other horse in that race was Cannon Hill, who we've just seen, who has gone on to progress to that second placing.
Yeah, obviously the track was a little bit off this day as well, and Arabian Songbird, she's going to be better when it gets firmer. Hopefully by this time of the day it's going to get to that good 4. Look, she's had 4 starts on the course for 3 wins. She loves the place.
Yeah, she won at this meeting last year.
Yeah, correct. And look, 54 kilos, she's got to be a top 2 chance, I thought.
Yeah, that was a super performance. I almost felt in the aftermath interviews that Roger was a bit surprised against, was it Zor Miller, in the same race on that occasion, but you can't knock the performance. If a Kayak Small starts from a decent sort of gate, it might get a sit just right in behind the speed with a lightweight. It'd be pretty damn dangerous in that particular race. Look, I stuck with Tardelli. I think if they'd really wanted to push out, he could have won that race by maybe 3 lengths, and then weights and measures are a lot different. So I went with him on top. If I was going to find one to blow him out, it would be Archaic Small, the mare who I thought was good, fresh, great gate to sit just off them, and does have a decent turn of foot.
Yeah, Tardelli, he should be winning. The gate's a little bit tricky. I'm going to go Arabian Songbird. Look, she loves the track there. I know they've got the TAB mile in their mind, middle day, cup day. She's at 10s in that. I'll be backing her before this week.
I was speaking to Stephen Marsh during the week, and he's probably saying that they have to go to that same race.
Yeah.
But maybe do they wait and have a crack at a TAB Mufasa Classic on the 6th of December? But who knows? I was torn. I thought there wasn't much over this field, but I'm a big fan of Tardelli, so I want to stick with him.
Okay, what about a best of the rest on the program, Les?
I want to take you to race 1, Pip, Golden Wings. He's got a little bit of a tricky gate, but I'm happy with the $5.50. I think he's a really progressive horse, and he'll be going very, very hard to beat.
I'm going for a horse who may be becoming something of a non-winner. He's only had 2 wins from 15 starts, but he's been knocking on the door. I've been with him all preparation. Tees for Alan Sharrock in race 4. Just gets the right race, the right setup here to be really competitive.
I'm going to take you to race number 2, Dalmatian Coast for Chad Ormsby. I really like what I saw fresh up at Ellerslie behind Love Symbol, who seems to be a pretty talented sort of horse. Gate is going to be pretty awkward, but I think it's going definitely the right way. So I thought Dalmatian Coast race 2 might get you underway early.
Okay, like those, as we move from there to our blackbookers, and we can see here, we've got plenty for you to follow as usual, so make sure you note these ones down. Leith, who have you got?
Court of Appeal last week at Ashburton. Gee, this track played so well, eh? It's a beautiful course. Look, she doesn't have to improve too much off this to be a leading chance in the New Zealand Cup. Look, she's $12 at the moment, but she's run home the last 600 metres here in 34 seconds. Look, she doesn't have to improve too much to be a leading chance in the New Zealand Cup, Rod?
Oh, still some sort of performance, especially late. Really got away. Lovely whip wheels too from our man Bruno on the line that our trackside crew have got. I've gone for Flat Stanley, a horse who I was really taken by earlier on. This was a terrific run deeper into the preparation run. So all the quickest closing sectionals in a race where the other 5 of the other top 6 were all in the first 6 and running. Flat Stanley has bucked that pattern with very good sectionals, one to be watching.
I'm going with Loose Sally, who was very neutrally ridden on Saturday. That's her out through from the outside. Look, this is 1,400 metres. She's run home in really good sectionals late in this particular race. She's not the easiest, but once she gets up to 1,600 metres, 2,000 metres, she'll be winning through the Riccarton Carnival.
And I'm going to Rotorua on Sunday. Ziggy Stardust, she just got buried on the fence and couldn't really get a run till late. Her sectionals were good though, went 4th. Scousser actually 2 out of this race was pretty good as well, sitting 3 wide throughout too. So 2 follows for me, the Blackbookers, but yeah, the Tony Pike runner, Ziggy Stardust there, finishing 4th.
She's going to Te Rapa on the Labour Day. 1,300 metres, be right up her alley.
Okay, we might take a short break here on the form, and we'll come back with our next segment when we return.
Welcome back into the form. We're concentrating in on Trentham now, and Bevan, boy, the rain has not been very well in the central districts. Are we getting any better weather this time?
Okay, I went past Trentham this morning. It was blowing and reasonably warm, so I think it's an improving day today. But there are a few showers in the forecast. This track really improved very, very quickly when we were last there across sort of 24, 36 hours. So I'm hopeful that we'll get a little bit better track condition, but we'll see. We'll see. It'll be better than most though, and it did race really nicely last time there at Trentham.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the Toast to Tiptronic mile here. Race number 6 on the program. Turn the Ace favourite and an open affair at 460 from Bozo and Enrico. And then you've got Tobias at 650. Leith, who did you like in this race?
Look, I'm going to go Battle Secret, Pip. Look, probably the mile's a little bit short for him, but Barrier 1's, hopefully that track sort of comes back a little bit as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I found it a difficult race, but I've gone with Tobias, who was a winner at New Plymouth a couple of starts back. Ellie Sol's 3 kilogram claim means you're 52.5, and the last start second in the Egmont Cup was, I thought, a pretty good run. Third horse in that Egmont Cup's going around the Group 1 Livermore, so it's not a bad form reference, is it, Bevan?
Yeah, I mean, I think Tobias needs rain, in sort of my opinion. Maybe Bozo does as well, and I don't know why I'd do it to myself. Kevin Myers-Jones, the 5-year-old mare by Centenio Aladdin, but she's won 3 from 6 there. She's very good at the trip. She was big behind the scunner at Oteki. Money's up on Saturday. Tony Davies taking a couple of kilos off, down to 53.5. I thought Bozo might be in the winner's circle at Trentham.
Okay, fingers crossed as we move on to race number 8, the open sprint on the program. Spencer at $4, your favourite. Archaic Smile at $4.40 in this market too. Maratori Molly at $6, and then I'm All In too at the $6.50. Leith, who's the one for you?
Meritable. I thought a little bit unlucky last start. Ellie Sol gets on, down to 51 kilos. Has race good on down that chute as well.
I think there was much between them, Spencer, Maratiri Molly. Obviously, Spencer was meant to be going for that spring sprint. We've just heard that's been moved to the Mufasa, TRB Mufasa Classic undercard on the 6th of December now at Trentham. But Spencer's been going well all prep. I've been there the whole time, so I'm there, but I thought Maratiri Molly was a big danger.
I agree about Maratiri Molly. There's no jockey down for Spencer, so whether he even runs, I'm not sure. You'd think they would at his most favourite track. I went Meritable as well with Leith. I like the effort behind Spencer last time. It was a good win in open handicap company on a heavy track at Woodville. 51 kilos. It was just enough to take me off the Maratiri Molly Spencer train. I think Maratiri Molly probably offers you some pretty good value in the race.
Okay, the guys in agreement. Well, Leith and Bevan anyway, as we get a best of the rest, Leith, from you at Trentham.
I stole one of Bevan's as well, Sunset Boulevard. Look, he's on target for the New Zealand Cup. Look, Amber Riddell gets down to 58.5 kilos. He's a backable price at $4.80.
I've gone to do Pug of Kevin Myers. Currently about a $10 price. Liam Cody takes a couple off to 58, but sectionally very good at Harwood last time out. I thought would be a decent chance at that money.
I've got a really big watch on a horse in race number 2. It is a nice race, so just depending on who starts. Valvano's in there, Delindo's in there, but I was really taken by the trial of Bell's Boom. 3-year-old by US Navy Flag was second to Platinum Pantheon on that occasion, but could have won at Awapuni. Really nice horse. Around $6.50, I think it's a good each-way price out of the Robbie Patterson stable.
And from there, we've got the binoculars out. It's time for the trial files. Leith, who have you got for us this time?
Look, I've got a horse by Sham Express, obviously the sire of Kaiying Rising. Shambo Jack. Look, this is in the marsh colours here. He's boomed home for second. There's a nice race next Saturday at Ellerslie, 1100 metre 2-year-old race. Look, I just like his last 50 metres is really strong here. He doesn't have to improve too much off this to be a big chance next week.
Yeah, that's eye-catching, isn't it? Really nice run. I'll take you down to the trials at Timaru on Tuesday. The horse in the Oak Stud colours is Cashel Bay. Used to be with Andrew Forsman, has now been transferred to Terry Ray. This horse was last seen in the Group 3 Northland Breeders' Stakes. Prior to that, had won really nicely in an open 3-year-old at Ruakaka. So it's a 2-win horse. Should be nicely placed down there as an early 3-year-old.
I'm taking you to a horse called Open Tyre for Alan Sherrick. Now, it ran really good time this day and was really, really impressive. Now, there might be a few drums beating that we might not see this horse race here in NZ. It might be going offshore, but you might want to watch Zerero out of this for the Lowry and Cullen team in the JML Bloodstock colours, because although Urge, it's run a nice second, and I think both of those will go close when they line up.
Those are trial files, and here is a summary. Make sure you note them down. And I think Cashler Bay is actually in the nominations on Sunday too, so whether or not it starts there. But there you go, that is the trial files from there. Well, we've been titling it as the greatest day on the punt this weekend because we do look forward to a race we've been waiting for, the Everest and the Caulfield Cup. Let's have a look firstly at the Everest and take a look how the market is shaping up after that barrier draw. Kaying rising 180 into 175. Jolly Star sixes out to $7, and then Jimmy Star at $10. What a race, Lee.
It is a race. If you try to pick out a gate for Kaying Rising, he's got the perfect gate. Marzu, barrier 2, overpass drawn outside him. He's just going to get all favours just behind the speed, you think?
Yeah, and the word is that he's certainly tightened up since that trial, Kaying Rising. If he brings his best Hong Kong form, then he's got to be really hard to beat. Go and have a look at his work at Canterbury earlier on this week. I think this was on Monday, and he does look as though he's going really nicely in this too, Lee.
He looks lovely. He looks like he's bounced out of that trial as expected. He was a bit fat that day. He's flying. I know there was a few rumour mills going around the other day that he wasn't going to be scratched. He got out to sort of, on different betting agencies, out to sort of $3 on some of them. Look, he looks happy there to me. The best thing about him, he's going to get a track that's going to suit him on Saturday as well.
I think, was this just a publicity sort of stunt from the people around the race? Just throw it out there that he's not quite right and we'll get a little bit more interest. I'm not really sure. It's probably not the case, but it just seemed to add a lot of more interest into this race. I don't believe any of the stuff we've heard that he's not going 100%. His trial wasn't great, make no mistake about that, but whether he strikes those sort of track conditions on Saturday will be another case. But look, he's a serious racehorse, there's no doubt about that. And as Leith mentioned, he's got the perfect draw. But it'll be one of the great training performances. I don't know whether you boys agree, to bring one down from Hong Kong, change it all up, do things differently. You're out in a paddock, you're at open spaces, you've got a whole paddock to yourself instead of a barn where you're with X amount of horses. It'll be one of the great training performances if this can be done on Saturday.
Yeah, it certainly will be. Look, obviously David Hayes, he's a genius. Look, the horse, obviously if the horse was in Hong Kong and the field of the Everest had to go to Hong Kong, they would get beat by 4 lengths. A little bit different. I'm a little bit nervous on the $1.75, but look, Kaying Rising for me, just over Jolly Star and Jimmy Star, maybe Kiwi trifecta.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it'll be great to see those Kiwis really shine. You know, Jimmy Star, War Machine, Jolly Star. They've all got that New Zealand interest about them, and of course Kaying Rising bred Fraser Aresh and the family as well. And he's where I've gone as well. I thought just the yardstick on quality in this race, Bevan.
Well, I'll be intrigued to see how this market develops because I think on race day, the Hong Kong money is going to push the tote to where? I'm not really sure. It might come into, it might be $1.20 or something, $1.30 once they start coming and backing their superstar. So it'll be really interesting. Look, I've been following Lady Shenandoah very closely. I think she is very smart, and I'm just going to go against Kaying Rising, not on ability, just on where the price is at $1.75. I love the double figures about Lady Shenandoah on an each-way price for Chris Waller. I do think she's a bit of a weapon, so expecting her to run a race.
Okay, from the Everest, we're now going to take you to Melbourne to the time-honoured Caulfield Cup here. And you can see half yours is the favourite. $2.45 actually starting to push in the market though at $3 with money for Medan here $8.50 into $7.50, and then Royal Supremacy $12s into $9. So a little bit of movement, but gets him beautifully at the weights, half yours.
He does. He was massive last start. Obviously the 52.5 kilos. Jamie Carr, Mellum there. Look, the last time she's ridden a Saturday winner in Melbourne was when half yours won on the 20th of September.
Wow.
She's out of form. Things aren't going right for her. Look, if Blake Shin was on this horse this week, I'd be happy with the $2.45, but I'm just a little bit, things aren't working for her at the moment.
What have you got for us?
Middle Earth. Middle Earth. I reckon he's a great each-way chance. Look, you're getting 14s. He might even drift out to sort of 14s to 15s to 18s. Mark Zahra on barrier 3. The horse has to jump out better than he has been lately, but Kieran Ma's horses are flying at the moment.
Okay, I'm going to go to the favourite, Half Yours. The form's very good. The Naturalism win was terrific, ran the quickest last 6, 4 and 2 of that race. Braden Star was 4th in that, came out and won the Herbert Power. And then the Turnbull last time out, which is a race that did favour those slightly on speed. Quickest last 8, 6, 4 and 2. Just looks to be in the zone. It's won 6 of 13 and beautifully drawn. So I think she might be putting Jamie back on track, I think.
Here first. Half Yours, I'm look for the best trial coming in to this year's Caulfield Cup. To me, it was Half Yours. Thought it was an outstanding run in the Turnbull at 2,000 metres. I think it'll improve. I think the gate's perfect. And at $3, happy enough.
Okay, that's what the guys are liking in the Everest and the Caulfield Cup as we take you to the Matamata Cup now. We're finally getting this meeting underway on Friday. Aidan, we'll go to you for weather and track. You were there on Tuesday. It looked like they had rain still.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty wet. It sounds like we've got an okay day tomorrow and then again sort of hopefully Saturday, Sunday. But I think the damage has already been done. I don't think it'll get out of the heavy range. Pretty testing as we go, take 3 now. I think it's gone Saturday, Wednesday and now
Good move
to
to
Friday.
move it to Friday.
I think
early
so
on,
too,
though.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the market because it has changed a little bit, the field for the Team Whelan's Matamata Cup. My Lips is sealed, $4 favourite. Joshua Brown at $7. You've got a Gera at $7.50 and then One Bold Cat at $8.50. So certainly will like the conditions as well. What are you thinking about that market?
Yeah, look, it's a open field, especially on that heavy track. It's going to be very, very testing. Look, I thought My Lips are sealed. With the 53 kilos, barrier 12 is probably a plus for it. Look, obviously Joshua Brown, he's be hard to beat with 54.5 as well.
And he'll just relish these track conditions. Speaking to Lance Garcia at the track on Tuesday morning, said the extra time's only been this horse's friend. They've just been able to get him more honed, and obviously he's won 3 from 6 on a heavy track placed in the other 2. So I'm going for the Opanaki Cup winner to do the double here, Opanaki Cup, Matamata Cup. Bevan, how'd you see it?
I was a bit blown away. Reza was at $10 coming back for, I know, Wait for Age Fillies and Mares, back to a handicap where it has to carry 53. But you know Reza will handle the track conditions, has to back up what it did fresh. It was probably a run short there, has to step up to the mile, so maybe there is that little niggle again. But I thought Reza was in for a big preparation, albeit the draw might be a niggle by this time of the day. But yeah, Reza will handle the track, you know that. So I'm going with that at double figures.
Okay, looking forward to the action. That is on Friday out of Matamata. And if you're looking to build your bag into those big races, the Caulfield Cup, the Everest, well, the guys have found you some, Leith.
Early race 1, Ellerslie Golden Wings, Pip, $5.50, $2.25, great each way chance.
I'm going to take you to Ashburton on Sunday, and a horse who's backing up from Ashburton last week, Future Positive. Thought the run was really good in that Shaka Bra race. Ran the quickest last 8 and 600 of that in a race that was dominated by those on speed. So back from basically Saturday company into what's really a midweek type meeting on Sunday. I thought Future Positive was one to watch.
We've got a really long Sunday session. Sunday, Pip, there's 11 races coming out of Waverley, but I'll tip you one on the first. Thrilling was in a sit-and sprint at 1,400 metres fresh up at Trentham, so never a realistic chance. Steps up and trip on Saturday with a little bit of cut in the track at Waverley. She's much better than a maiden, but she's got to get the job done soon.
Well, that'll make us nice and happy on the sesh if we get you a winner early. Those are the bank builders as we take you to a break. Best bets off the other side. You're watching The Form, and before we get you to our best bets and what the trainers are liking, a summary for last week. Did we get any best bets up? I know mine was a very hard watch Hostility. He's still coming around the bend there at Taupo.
Yeah, he got knocked over. Something happened early and then he got taken wide on the track. So it was definitely a forgive run for him. He actually had the line quite well.
He did, yeah.
Not our best week, was it?
It wasn't our best week, but look, the weather hasn't been playing its part either, so let's hope that changes. Let's see what the trainers are liking first before we give you our best bets.
John, what's the best for the stable this weekend?
I'm just looking here. We've got Zenith and Cleese at Ellerslie as well. Altiplano, a couple of seconds in his last 2 starts. They'll all be in to have a go.
Come on, we just want one. Pick one out for us.
You always do this to me, son. You know? Drive me mad, boy. Muscovado on Friday.
I'm actually going to go for a bit of value. Be in a rating 60 at 1200. Chahu, he resumes fresh up on Friday and he's going well, so yeah, bit of value for the punters.
What are we looking at? We're probably looking at Cracker Cole on Friday in the 60 mile. He's going really well. He's due a win. He was pretty unlucky last start.
Joshua Brown, every time he's the best horse in town.
Fleeting Star's a very good gallop, and she ran second at the first start at Taupo, and you just twinged something behind, just minor, but it was enough to ease up. And to be quite fair, it's the tracks haven't been that flash since, so haven't missed too much, you know, but she can gallop.
This Saturday at Ellerslie, Dalmatian Coast, I think he'll be reaching for top honours.
We've got Chalber at Ellerslie. I think it was a better run than it looked at Waikato the other week. Went to the line under a hold with no room, so fingers crossed.
It's a difficult weekend, obviously Group 1 racing. Bit of a rougher one, I suppose. I really like Charm Rose. I think she's going the right way, fresh up over the 1100. I think she can show some real cheek.
We've got Bad Education in the 65 1100 at Ellerslie. He's just been waiting on a better track and looks like it's going to be a good track there, so yeah.
I have to go with Tajana, just the way she's done and how she's improved, and you know there's not much left in the tank after this week, and we're obviously excited to get to the mile and the Guineas, but Tajana for sure.
Yeah, look, it's going to be, it's going to be competitive racing this Saturday at Ellerslie, but Tardelli, he's come back extremely well. His win at Ellerslie last start was great, and look, he's just trained on so well, and you know, similar race. It'll be pretty hot, but I really think he's going the right way.
Mike Abel at Ellerslie, 75 mile.
Oh, it's a pretty tough week to pick one. I'd probably have to say the Prophet. He's going really well.
Yeah, I've got to get this right, don't I? I'm going to go Florida. She might go to Ellerslie, might go to Waverley, not sure yet.
What's giving you confidence?
Yeah, it really improved since Avondale and stepping up to 14. Yeah. Get on.
Get on, okay, and sounds like Waverley is the place that'll be running too. Other ones standing out there, obviously Stephen Marsh, not too worried about the draw with Tardelli?
No, he's not. Look, he should be winning. He needed a little bit of luck from the gate, but I thought of the board there, I thought Cracker Cole, home track and a weak field. It doesn't have to improve too much on its last start.
Yeah, got me, Cracker Cole.
Okay, that's what the trainers are liking. Make sure you follow them. But in the meantime, of course, the form and the leg up punters comp is well and truly underway. Hasn't been easy with the wet tracks, of course, losing Otaki. So that means Brendan Popplewell, he did get a multi home and got the win. So Lethal, it's up to you to get us back on the board.
Oh, no bet Hunt. Hopefully I can beat him this week. I hope.
He doesn't do no bets and you'll be away.
Look, it's going to be tough. The numbers man against me. Look.
Confidently.
Look, I'm going to start with a bit of a rough each way bet. Middle Earth, $15 each way in the Caulfield Cup.
Nice.
A little $80 multi, top three, Golden Wings into Swiss Prince, top three.
Nice.
And then I'm going to go to race 2 pip, a $30 box exacta with the 3-year-olds. You've got, look, Swiss Prince, Navy Dreams, Solid Gold and Marzette. Look, for $30, you're sort of getting an average price of a $7.80, $78, max price of $100, and maybe a minimum of about $31 for your $2.50 percentage. So look,
bring it on.
Bring it on.
Come on.
Bring it on.
Come on.
Yeah, go early and go home, I think. But yeah, race 1 and race 2.
I love it. We'll be in Middle Earth if that gets up. Yep. And there you can see here is the pot total. So we're still winning too, $307 up against the $222. Currently 1 for 1 as we move into this weekend. So good luck, Lee.
We might be up to 1,000 by next week, I reckon.
Yeah, take down Hunty as we get to the best bets. So Lee, who have you got for us?
Go back to the Caulfield Cup. Look, Middle Earth, he's been set for this race from last year. He only needs to jump out a tad better from barrier 3. Mark Zara, big time rider. This horse is flying. Look, he doesn't have to improve too much to be winning this Caulfield Cup. It's not overly strong, I don't think.
You win the Caulfield Cup with that horse, Leith, and those boys will be making us some dinner, which will be lovely. I've gone for Cracker Cole. I thought terrific at Te Rapa last time out and running second. Got home with all the best sectionals in a Saturday race. Goes to a midweek race in a rating 60 on the home track, on a wet track. Just enough about Cracker Cole. And there's confidence from Andrew Scott as well. So that's good enough for me. Bevan, how about you?
Well, you and BP, you're on the train and you're hugging it tightly. I like this little mare Casino. Thorax is in front of it. It's in the same race, but I don't think Thorax is going to run from the gate. Not very much a Casino, but she's pretty competitive, and she came from a little bit off speed on a day where no horses made ground up. So I think she can be pretty tough to beat early on at Waverley on Sunday.
And I'm going for Perfect Tycoon. It's had 2 starts. I thought this was really eye-catching. Steps up to the 1,500 metres as well. At least I know I beat you, Bevan. But yes, Perfect Tycoon at Wingatui, race number 2. So look, Sweens is confident too. Let's hopefully we can get back on the board with our best bets. Here is a summary: Perfect Tycoon, Cracker Cole for Aiden. The Whale is with Brucey by the Seaside of Wamaru on Sunday. Casino for Bevan will be going there if these land, and Leith with Middle Earth, and that does complete the form. Just can't wait for this weekend. I mean, what a weekend. Group 1 action here and then across the Tasman, mouthwatering.
Yeah, super race day, isn't it?
Yeah, sure will be. Can't wait for Middle Earth to be winning that Caulfield Cup for you, Leith.
And as always, Swains, thank you very much. Looking forward to you joining us too this weekend.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Look, the Punters Comp has been a non-event to this point. Leith has a decent day to bet on at least. If he loses, won't be happy.
Shots fired. All right. That does complete the form. All the best this weekend, and look forward to the greatest day on the punt this Saturday.